the Dutch scene back on the map. And this international roster of fnatic, it is really starting to take shape. It's starting to transform into something a little bit special. And as we get this flyover for Overpass, it's going to be Aurora's responsibility to try and cause an upset.
Yeah, and it's a bit of revenge for fnatic. Aurora, they beat fnatic Rising yesterday in ESEA Advanced. So this is like the big brother coming through to deal with that naughty young school bully. We'll see if Aurora can do the upset here against fnatic. nicoodoz with the P2K, famous P2K user. Going to be going for that fight and is immediately removed. Lucky gets the opener.
Really good start. Lucky, instrumental to the success of Aurora. Keep your eye out for him as well as Chiron. He's the second voice in this team, and right now he's leading the charge, commanding Aurora to get some real estate out towards long. mezii jump spotting. So he's trying to play this one a little bit safer. fnatic are starting to kind of get the idea, piece this one together, find some clues along the way that this potentially couldn't be the final destination, as Aurora, it looks like they're all starting to walk in towards toilets.
Yeah, mezii jump peeking this, but this player is not peeking him from long. Crims is here as well. Two whiteout USPs on the side of fnatic, looking very sharp. But now the attack comes through. Utility dispense. mezii looking for this fight out long that's just never coming, and he's going to get taken out by Lucky. But Roy is doubled up. FASHR's there with one of his own. Despite the openers going the way of Aurora, now it's just Sugar left in a 1 versus 2. Gonna fake out the bomb plant in FASHR. He pushes through and finds the kills. You mentioned FASHR, a player to watch. 3 in the round.
And that was just really nice work from fnatic. Aurora, they tried to contact their way as far as they could onto the bomb site. You see mezii got blindsided with a wrap in towards the dice, but because the rotations were in really close proximity, they were there just in the nick of time. It just allows the combination of Roy and FASHR, just that 1-2 punch from fnatic. Gets the pistol over the line. More importantly, Aurora, they don't plant the bomb, still will invest in. And, well, Chiron's got a Nova, so we'll see who takes that.
All right, that's not a shotgun you see very often. And additionally, you don't see shotguns on the T side very often. The fact that they are so limited in their range makes them much more of a CT-sided weapon where you can tuck into an angle and wait for a T to push into you. Whereas for the Ts, the initiative is on them. They're the ones that have to go pushing, which is a little tricky with a Nova. Although I do find sometimes it works almost like an AWP in the range that you can hit some of these shots with. So maybe we'll see the pocket orb coming out. Oh, Lucky, that's a nice kill. Roy, caught in transition, gets removed. nicoodoz now need to get something in response. But they are just going to fall back.
At the very least, it's a rifle that can be thrown over to potentially mezii. Can upgrade himself to that M4. Flashes, though, wants to go with the UMP instead. Doesn't want to get caught off guard in transit. Aurora trying to make their way out towards long. Crims, he spotted out Sugar, does dispatch of him, but the real hit, the real intention of Aurora is up towards A, but nicoodoz and mezii, they are holding the line. So the 1 kill, it doesn't really amount to much, and there is that aforementioned Nova. Well, he's trying to prefer the Deagle instead. UMP, mezii rolling back the years all the way to 2017 with that one. So it used to be broken back then.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe the Nova was an accidental buy. It feels like it has to have been, which is why he has that Deagle in his back pocket that he can sort to. Great couple of kills from nicoodoz as well. Looking very sharp. That's exactly what you want to see from him. He'll be getting that AWP in a couple of rounds, no doubt. Looking good with the M4 for Aurora. This is just going to be upgraded pistols, so not too much to hope for here. Roy looking for the fight with the MP9. Yeah, I felt the UMP, it's a bit of a struggle now, right? Like it got nerfed at the long ranges, doesn't quite have the damage, but it does have good armor penetration, so it can still be quite effective. I think particularly against these sort of buys, it can obviously clean up, but the MP9 is just too good, it feels, for $50 more.
I think it's you sent me a stat where you said the MP9 has got more stand-in accuracy than the FAMAS. And that's just kind of really just upsetting, to be honest, more than anything. nicoodoz in this round, though, does collect some kills. Roy, well, actually gets felled by that P250. Chiron with a couple of kills, trying to make this one a little bit more expensive for fnatic. But there is that UMP that we called into question. mezii will upgrade himself to that M4A1S, but that was just a formality round for Fnatic. On paper, they should always be winning that one. It was just a P250 being invested in for Aurora. And now we get to see the buy. Mezii drops over an AWP to nicoodoz, and suddenly Delusion's got one of his own.
Yeah, this is the round we've been waiting for. And for Fnatic, they're okay with losing those two players. It's not the worst. They get to get rid of these pesky SMGs that they had. No more discussion about UMPs. It's all about the M4s and the AWP Roy. In fact, the only one on this side of the map is in connector, so A side is very open at the moment. It's a heavy lean towards B for this early presence, maybe expecting some sort of aggression there, but the only speed that's being put on is Chiron, who is really accelerating out towards long. He's spotting this is completely empty, and he is not slowing down.
This is really perfect. nicoodoz is going to get caught completely off guard here. He's not expecting Chiron to be here with only about 40 seconds into the round. Roy finds the kill, and well, actually, if he pushes any further, that's the bomb. Chiron, meanwhile, he's trying to be a little bit tricky, a little bit crafty. He's working his way down towards heaven. This is perfect. Aurora, they can split into the B bomb site here. Fnatic, oh, they've got no idea. This round all hinges on how much exploitation Chiron can really get from this position. Spots out the first trigger, discipline onto the second, but the spray, it's a little bit laboured. And Aurora, they are kind of falling apart here now.
That is so unfortunate. Smoke blocking their way into the B bomb site. FASHR's here as well, ready for the fight. Lucky goes down. It's all in Delusion. A perfect flashbang is going to remove him. So it looked like an absolute crazy round with Chiron coming through on that flank. Unfortunately, he could only get that first kill, and then he just goes down immediately. I mean, he goes for the closer target. Obviously, he wants to guarantee a kill. The longer range on that player all the way out towards jail, that can be a bit tricky, right? You don't always hit the one tap at that range with the AK. So I understand the reasoning, and particularly because it would have been easier for mezii then to swing up and find him. But sometimes you've got to go for the riskier play there, right? When you've already lost a player.
But Fnatic need to account for this now, because that space given up, that's something that Aurora could potentially exploit. They're trying to up the ante here, work their way in towards short a little bit more aggressively. But the brake pedal has well and truly been pumped. Utility raining out. Crims will now step in, line them all up. Mezii's flashbangs, perfect to set him up for success. Aurora's just waiting in the connector. He can just bide his time here and then swing out when the feeling is with him. 2 kills already into the fray. The bomb, it might not have been spotted.
Yeah, right, happy to make his home here. Connector, I'm trying to find this fight onto Delusion and does eventually get it. Railway has found one on the side, but Mezii's quick on those ones. Now it's just Sugar left. It's going to catch off Roy, pushing for more. So Roy done a fair bit of damage here. The bomb is still in his hands, and M4 could also be recovered. But 1 versus 3 paints a pretty ugly picture if you're Sugar. Not so sweet around. Although 2 players have rotated over towards the A bomb sites. They're playing a bit more passive towards B. There is an avenue in here. Mezii is the only one nearby. nicoodoz can rotate quickly. He can get to heaven quite fast, and Sugar doesn't have any smoke. He's just got a single HE. And he's just no knowledge of where any of these players are. So he has to clear all these angles. Such little time. Be able to maybe... No, Mezii catches him off guard. No bomb plant. Completely denied, and Fnatic continue their flawless start here on Overpass.
Everyone's stepping up as well. I mean, look at the kill distribution for Fnatic. 5-star performance all around. 5 rounds on the board, 5 kills on every single player. Tactical timeout being called in for Aurora. Back out with the investment. They want to make sure they've got a clear game plan heading into round number 6. They don't want to throw away this opportunity. Delusion back out on the AWP. Called on him a little bit of a question mark in the pre-game. Well, that's because his only real experience in Counter-Strike before this was actually on the VP Prodigy lineup way back when. So in terms of real tier 1 experience, like, this is definitely the highest level he's ever played at, which is good to see, first off, and it's good to see he's been taken under the wings of this Aurora gaming organization. He now has to contend with a really fierce opponent in nicoodoz in this head-to-head, and I feel like that only really goes one way.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. nicoodoz is already off to a pretty good start as well. I mean, as mentioned, all these players have 5 kills exactly. See how this continues. Mezii getting boosted up here. Actually, slips off. FASHR a little bit slippery on the shoulder. And Lucky has now spotted this and is looking for this headshot angle. Oh, it's just missed out, but hey, he's given another kill as Krim swings in. Takes a dink of his own, and there's the follow-up HE. Great stuff, but now they're going to be accelerating out. They want to contact off this, and mezii gets caught up. All now onto FASHR on the side, and Railway is there, comes through like a freight train and removes both. Now that bomb can go down. Roy is here on a fast flank, but Chiron deals with him as well. nicoodoz is the only one left for fnatic, is able to find one kill, but there's still 3 more players, and they're actually hunting him down. Railway considering pushing further, but hears that scope and doesn't want to walk into nicoodoz.
That's a really nice round from Aurora. They're always just facilitated by that kill over towards short, with Krim's just walking on in. Really nice adjustment there. And the flashbangs, although they rain out, FASHR, he's just caught a little bit off guard in no man's land in between trying to deal with the trading over towards short and just the fact that fnatic have really got no information on that area of the map because they lose the man early. nicoodoz, the best he can do is just hold on to this AWP, and there we go. Timeout called. Aurora will then convert the follow-up for the gun round, but it needs to be a little bit more consistent, but that's a really encouraging sign.
Yeah, it was great, just the way that they reacted to how the fight transpired in short. The fact that kill goes down to Krims. They know they've got one of these B players removed. Obviously, Lucky goes down to the HE, but then they just accelerate out through Monster. The fact that they find both those kills with no trade coming through. You can see Roy gets desperate, pushing out from Connector, trying to save the round, and he just gets caught out in the open as well. So, great stuff from Aurora. nicoodoz now with that AWP. He's looking for a bit of an aggressive peek here. There's actually no one on the other side of it. They threw that initial smoke early to feign presence towards the ramp, but actually, once again, focusing over towards B. The bomb is here, and Delusion is getting ready with a flash, but that smoke looks to have slowed things down.
They've got to wait this one out. But it does mean they can add Railway into the equation. He's going to be the short element of this little trick in towards the big bomb site. As soon as contact comes in, he's trying to be the difference maker with his routing, but Roy and FASHR hold strong, and the spam's even better. Delusion will actually catch out aggression towards Monster, but all his teammates are just falling by the wayside. Such low HP on both of these players. Aurora just need to escape.
Yeah, we're going to be watching 50-second save simulator here, unless fnatic decide to go for the hunt, but it's only really Krims that's in a position to do that, so we'll see if it does opt to go looking, but they just want to hold on to what they've got. And this time around, fnatic's defense over towards the B site is just a little bit too strong for Aurora. No way in. That was a real round called out of spawn, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was very clear that they intended to do that the entire time. They feigned that smoke over towards T ramp. They didn't sort of put any presence there. They weren't kind of lurking out elsewhere. It was always, we're going to be hitting B this round, and unfortunately, couldn't make any headway.
It's interesting. I have to give a lot of credit to fellow caster Yumi, who reached out to Chiron after they made the RMRs, and he just asked kind of what the situation was with Aurora, and just kind of an insight just into their roster. And Chiron gave a lot of information over, and he basically was saying that Railway, his style of calling is very loose, and he'll often have 3 players head towards one direction on the bomb site, try and play a loose trade in style. But if anyone has got kind of an idea, they can just go for it. They can just really just express themselves on the servers. They're playing with freedom here, Aurora. I have to see if that amounts to further round wins.
With young talent, that can often be a good way to let them sort of be unleashed. We've seen that with mezii, right, on G2. He's really come into his own lately, really showing what he can do against the top tier of competition now that he's playing with a lot more freedom. This time around, Railway is potentially going to catch off Roy, but not even needed because Lucky gets that kill. That's an opener going their way, but nicoodoz is immediately there with the trade, and he falls back. Only 2 defenders over towards the B site now, though, and they know that the AWP isn't here. Although Aurora are actually just going to back off. They're going to regroup in T-spawn. They have to get that bomb.
It's so important that nicoodoz gets that kill. So it means that he can just hold on his own. Mezii can quickly rotate back down towards Heaven. Because right now it looks like there's Aurora gather outside towards Monster. Oh, actually, they're going to be heard from that spam. FASHR does a little bit of damage. Crim's on the elevated position. Good for the first. FASHR can just swing on the contact. It's another round where Fnatic's B-site anchors are really just locking in. This is under tight lock and key. Aurora can't really do anything. Delusion drops the bomb. Then Mezii follows up with the player on towards short. 7-1. This is very dominant from Fnatic.
Yeah, it feels like with that round, it kind of, you could see the conditioning that Fnatic had put in them on that B side. Aurora, they wanted to hit that B side. They were ready for it, but they were a little bit tepid in their approach to it. And there was only 2 defenders there for the longest time. And as soon as the contact comes in and Crims gets that initial kill, they're just not quite ready for the second player, and it all kind of falls apart. And that sort of, I guess, more passive play, not really going for the big, fast contact. They sort of just walk through the smoke. Comes from that punishing of the prior couple of rounds. Cool flash.
Yeah. Enables him to jump spot over. Can't say anything though. The Sugar is shrouded in smoke. Aurora always seems to have consistent control over towards water. Perfectly timed Molotov. Boost was being contemplated by Lackey, but that's been completely shut down by the IGL on the other end. It's another one of these rounds where it feels like Aurora want to head towards B straight out the gate, but because they don't really put any sort of control anywhere else, it's very telegraphed, and that's why we've got 3 defenders here just waiting for Fnatic. But the contact will come in, and it's going to be dry.
Yeah, they're actually starting to fall back to a more passive line here. Crims has been boosted up. He's going to get caught on the peak. So now that allows Aurora to take some space here. Crims has now swung out. The FASHR is in towards the pit, and he's going to get that kill into Railway. Crims gets the kill through the smoke onto Sugar as well. FASHR is still here fighting. nicoodoz closes it out. That one just falls to pieces as soon as they get to the site.
When you can understand the difference in approach from Aurora to go for more of a contact-heavy play, because they've really been telegraphing their executes with the utility over towards this B bomb site. But when you've invested in so much of it, and you just kind of walk out for free, and Fnatic are just all posting the positions, they can just hold on to their crossfires. It's just a little bit difficult. We are back into the swing of things now, though. Round number 10. Fnatic have already won out the half. Now the question is, how much can they extend it by? nicoodoz, he doesn't miss those. Even going in for a little bit more. Partial investment, though. And Aurora will actually catch him out. And Lackey follows up onto Roy. That's the Danish element of this roster eliminated. And Mezii is waiting in the wings at the connector stairs. Perfect flashbang from Crims. It does actually clean them up, and it makes this feel a little bit more doable now for the CT side.
Yeah, Railway has managed to get through, but they should be aware of this. Mezii is looking for the fight, trying to clear through, but is caught off guard. Looking the wrong way as he came around that corner. So now Sugar and Railway can try and put this together. Crims is still here over towards the A site, and Ash is looking to take some ground. Railway this is a bit of a fake. He's throwing a smoke out towards the stairs to kind of make it look like a fake towards A while his teammate moves towards B. And FASHR has this read perfectly, playing them like a book. Knife out. Gonna spot Railway any second now. Oh, it looks the wrong way. There he is. Here comes the knife. That's classic Fnatic. FASHR gets the kill. Sugar now on the other side of the map. Nothing to do.
Oh, that's a good shot. All right, 1 versus 1, 30 seconds left. This one's still on. But look at FASHR's reposition. It's all the way over towards Party, and he can just play this off angle. So as soon as Sugar comes out of the connector, he's going to be ready for FASHR's position. Really well played, and what a really good read as well. Not sure if he catches a glimpse of him as he crosses in towards the toilets, but it just felt like a really long cat and mouse chase throughout the duration of that round, and it just works perfectly.
I don't think he spotted him because he pulled out his knife right as he was exiting towards the long bathrooms to go a little bit faster. So I don't think that was the play. Mezii really saved this round. I mean, we talk about this FASHR closing being fantastic, but it was Mezii getting that double kill that allowed them the way back in. Good stuff from Fnatic. Recover it. And Aurora have been finding success over towards the A-bomb side. They've been actually finding a couple of openings here. Lackey has been getting it every couple of rounds. And I like this boost. nicoodoz on the top of his Danish brethren's shoulders and isn't going to quite hit that shot.
Still information, though. Knows that Aurora have made it out towards playground, so instead he's going to take up a more passive line towards long. Can take this shot and then just fall in towards toilets, and he's got the safety of Roy just locking in the other entranceway, so he can just remain on this angle. Flashbang comes up and over. nicoodoz still interested in taking this peak. Will be contended with Delusion. Both orbs misfire. But now look at this. Look at how close Aurora are to this long toilets position. Roy, he's going to get set up for success, but it's an immediate kill in and trade. But that's the bomb drop. nicoodoz, he's even just going to stay around, try and take the fight with the AK.
He knows there's an AWP out long, so swaps to the AK so he can try and take this fight a little bit more favored. Staying alive here. Molotov thrown in to keep things a bit messy, but he's actually sitting behind it. He's managed to get a bit of an angle here. nicoodoz has found Railway. It's all now on Delusion out long. He's removed. And on the outside of the map, once again, it's Sugar finding an empty bomb site over towards B. But the bomb not in his position in 30 seconds. That's all he has on the clock to try and retrieve it and get through 3 CTs.
Yeah, speaking of messy, here's that insurance policy. Walked up through long, made sure that Delusion couldn't really escape there, even if he does find nicoodoz. And Sugar, I don't know, sometimes in these rounds it just feels like he's a little bit too far removed from the rest of the gang. But he is that lurk player out towards Monster, so it does make a little bit of sense. That's going to be double digits, more importantly, found for fnatic. This is incredibly dominant, and fnatic, well, they're coming out with a statement here at the RMR. They're trying to prove that they've got something really in the works, and everyone is performing. It's not just one individual popping off. The kill distribution is incredibly even.
It's good stuff from fnatic. It's what we expect in this series. It's been a few matchups where the favorite hasn't necessarily had as much success as maybe people had thought. I mean, that FaZe Gamer Legion game, which has concluded, the FaZe were able to close that one out, but that went to like quadruple overtime. So, you know, fnatic keeping it clean here is a huge boon.
Oh, I think just get a little bit better on that CT side. Crims this time has pushed aggressively, and that feels for Aurora like they need to go into the firing line. They need to try and take some space back on the bomb site, because Crims at any moment could just try and flank them. They're just being peppered down by the utility. Defensive smokes are preventing Aurora any safe passage of finding an opportunity to try and remove one of these defenders. And Roy's even in at heaven. Finds Lackey through the smoke for good measure. Chiron does find Crims, but there's too many players for fnatic. It's a perfect setup, and they keep on moving.
Yes, it's dominant from fnatic. 11 rounds now on the CT side. Just one for Aurora. FASHR 14 for 3. He is having an absolute game here. 114 ADR, really shining. But really, as you mentioned, everyone is firing off on fnatic. And that is a very scary roster when every single piece is working in unison. Sort of a very much not a single player kind of carrying kind of roster, right? This is very much a team effort. But the fact that every single one of these players can step up makes them incredibly scary.
And that was a question as well when mezii transitioned into the in-game leader role. It was, well, could he continue his capabilities? We know he could put up the numbers on the server. Famously was put into more of the star positions when he originally transitioned over to the fnatic roster from the Cloud9 move. But no, stats don't lie. 11-4, looking pretty hot to trot. nicoodoz got to be fast on his feet, because there's a lot of players potentially swarming on his position, but he has got Roy here in close support. It's these pairs that we were talking about. It's mezii and Crims towards B. It's nicoodoz and Roy out towards A. And Aurora, well, they're just vibing by connector.
Yeah, just vibing out in connector. Looking to try and connect some pieces here. It's a nice little view through the window in connector. Throw some nice flashbangs through there, if you were so inclined. They are going to be grouping up once again for a B crunch. It's been a very B-heavy lean from this team. And this time, Crims is in position on this boost. We saw him trying to assemble this one a few rounds prior. It can be a difficult clear, but also the Deagles can do a lot of work here. He's going to get one and fall back immediately. Doesn't want that trade to come through. That does mean it's a bit of a passive setup here in towards B. Roy in heaven is looking for the fight. He's able to find one, even dropping the bomb. Now the rest of the M4s, they're looking to get into the fray. FASHR also pushing forward with that AK, trying to find this head. Does find it, and Roy gets the final kill. 12 rounds for fnatic. Looking untouchable here in Overpass.
I'll be honest, I expected a little bit more from Aurora. I know this is a very good fnatic side, but you come into this and I don't know, I expected just a little bit more of a fight. 12-1 though. Very impressive how fnatic are performing. Full gun round back out for Aurora Delusion back on the AWP. A little bit of a slow start to this game. We're going to try and contend with nicoodoz. Not peeking towards the connector. That's where the other AWP resides. And suddenly, Chiron can nearly capitalise upon it. Instead, he wants to take a fight towards short. FASHR is removed. And we've got a man advantage in favour of Aurora for the first time in what feels like forever.
See if they can capitalise on it. nicoodoz looking for more fights and finds one sugar removed. The second AWP though, Delusion, he's out long. He finds that kill. Finally comes out in that head-to-head ahead. Chiron, low from earlier, is actually just lurking over towards the B bomb site, trying to catch off any rotations through T spawn. mezii has rotated over to the A bomb site, but he's the only one here at the moment. Roy is going to start to make his way over. That's a well-timed smoke for long, but we're actually not committing yet. You can see all the T's are completely spread out. So they're trying to sort of find an opening here, but mezii catches the timing. Railway removed. This man advantage is now lost, and Chiron's limping. So suddenly fnatic have put this back in their favor, and they have two players over this side. Crim's about to get flashed through for a freebie. Not sure if Delusion was spotted there, but either way, they've got the man advantage here on B.
There's Delusion. Oh, he will hit the shot on towards Roy. 2 versus 2 now. And Lackey, he's close with Crims. Can't contend with him, though. Head removed from his shoulders. And suddenly Delusion has to try and find it all, but mezii from the heavens will secure another round in fnatic's favour. A little bit unfortunate for Aurora. You can tell what they were trying to do. Fake all the way over towards A and then wrap back in. You can see that Roy was in two minds about whether to head up back to the A bomb site, but with mezii finding this timing, it just anchors him into the position. They're now ready to try and contend with this monster threat.
Yeah, you got to think maybe if they just grouped up and hit that A bomb site, they could have maybe made something of it, right? Like they lost that player anyway, so it was just mezii on side. Obviously, they don't have the full read on the situation. They can't see the X-rays like we can, but still feels like maybe they gave up that advantage a little bit too early, and then once again walked into a B bomb site that they're just not making any headway into. Last round of the half, and well, they'd like more than one round, let me tell you, but two, the most that they're going to be able to get on this T side. And it's not even the best purchase into it, just 2 smokes, 2 flashes, Molotov and a decoy.
No scope weaponry. nicoodoz has got full range again. Utility being dropped in towards spawn, so fnatic can pick up some flashes for the retake. 4 players starting more towards B for fnatic because, well, they know that Aurora have been prioritizing this bomb site. However, that's not where the bomb is. It's working its way up long this time, and that has been the gap we've kind of pointed out every now and then. We saw that Chiron was able to get in the back lines in one of these rounds, but nicoodoz has been peeking it every now and then. But Roy, he's tasked with the responsibility of locking down all of these angles as Aurora just try and creep their way forward, trying to take control more towards toilets, and this contact out towards monster might be a little bit of a fake.
Ooh, nicoodoz misses the shot there, but Crims is here to save the day. Had the harder line to hit, but still manages to find it. nicoodoz caught on the retreat, but Roy has found 1 kill on these players and looking for the second. Huge amount of damage done, and mezii closes it out. Delusion does get that trade, but it's still the man advantage and make it 2. All now on Delusion in the 1 versus 3. 1 in the round already, but 3 more to find. And Roy out towards long is not going to be accounted for. It is a dominant half from fnatic. 14 rounds on the CT side. That is exactly what they were hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that apart from a 15-0 scoreline, but it's all coming up in fnatic's favour. Pretty sure they will potentially close this out as well. Do Aurora have a leg to stand on in this second half? We'll find out in just a few minutes.
Welcome back, everybody, to this second half. It might not be a welcome second half for Aurora, as they only managed one round on their T side. Now going to the CT side, all the odds are against them. And fnatic, it feels like an inevitability. What can Aurora show us, Brandon?
Well, it does all begin with a pistol. I'm saying that very tentatively. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, isn't it? I think for fnatic that they've invested a little bit of utility. For Aurora, it's a much more of a prioritization over the armor. They want to take the fights early. They want to try and disrupt any plans that fnatic have into round number 16. Double set up in towards connector. Glocks will fire out, but actually Delusion will find the opener. nicoodoz will trade on towards Railway, however, and that means he can now catch these players trying to rotate back up towards the connector. But Chiron, well, he's never been spotted, has he? But it doesn't matter, because Roy just completely removes his head. Delusion, though, has found 3 kills in the round. All of them, in fact, on fnatic, and suddenly it gets a little bit more contestable. Roy's been spotted out towards the toilets as well. Delusion is on for the ace.
Talk about a round for Delusion, stepping up the young gun. 4 kills already, looking for this 5th. Crims has to cross to get that bomb as well. So Delusion is in a prime position to maybe get this ace. Or couldn't Crims upset? Definitely seen him win these sort of clutches before. He is spotted, fires off that shot and collects the bomb. His flank back down is being held by Sugar and Connector as well. So he's looking for the fights. Cautious about a flank coming through. Has time to work with at the very least, so he can start to make his way through, and Delusion's going to be the one to test him. Looking for it, but Crims is going to deny the ace. Great shot onto Delusion. He still has 30 seconds to work with. Sugar hasn't budged a muscle, and Lucky is out on the site. Crims taking a second to scratch his nose. Now he's going to start to make his way through. Knows that in a clutch you don't want to have an itchy nose, and now he's going to spot out Lucky. Continues to push forward. Sugar going to have to start to come on this flank, but if Crims can win this 1v1, there's a way into this, but Lucky's just playing around the site, presents himself, Crims gets the kill. Now the bomb can go down. He has a chance to pull off this 1 versus 3.
Spots out Sugar as well. Plants a bank, so now he can make it his home. And now Sugar has to play whack-a-mole, trying to figure out whether Crims is in between bench and the dumpster. Guesses correctly, and there's plenty of time on the defuse. It wasn't quite the full house for Delusion, but nevertheless, a really important quadra kill coming in. It gets 1 round back. It's a way in. It's a long way off stability for Aurora, but it just spares their blushes just a little bit.
Ooh, almost. I thought Crims had that for sure after he got that kill into Lucky, and it felt like he'd be set up in that post plant, but couldn't quite convert. Sugar catches him off guard with that push out towards the stairs. fnatic, courtesy of that bomb plant and the fact they did so much damage to Aurora, are going to fully invest into this one. So we do see nicoodoz on the scout, we see 3 rifles, and we see mezii with the deagle. So they're not going to make this easy for Aurora, who are fighting tooth and nail to stay in this game.
Trying to use the grenade as a little bit of cover to peek in. Good damage on towards FASHR. Inventive idea for Lackey. Sugar knows that these players are on the left-hand side. A monster that can't contend with the multitude of players swinging on his position. Early damage has been done. fnatic have reinvested into this one despite losing the round prior. Scout on nicoodoz will actually be swapped over to Crims because he's got such low HP. Bogdan's Law coming into full effect.
It's equal damage both ways, really, for both teams. fnatic, after putting that early presence down towards Monster, where at least 2 players were spotted, they're going to now make their way up towards A. Grouping as a unit, just the 1 player in mezii that's holding in towards mid, while all 4 of the team made their way out long. Chiron is here with the M4, and they've also got 2nd player as well in Delusion. So it's a good setup. There's a smoke as well that Delusion can deploy in towards Monster. Oh, in towards bathrooms. Now the hit comes through. Chiron is going to fall back. 30 seconds left in the clock. Delusion taking a more passive line. The utility for the hit comes through, and now that Molotov makes it a bit more difficult. Railway's rotated over. That smoke makes it really difficult, though. The MP9 on the other side does damage Delusion here as well, looking for the kills. He doubles up. nicoodoz goes down, and mezii, he's not quite here, ready for the trade, and Delusion is taking the fight to him. 3 in the round for Delusion, back-to-back multi-kill rounds. And Crims, there's no chance. It's another 4K for Delusion.
God, you talk about impact, you talk about a player that needs to step up. And, well, Delusion, he's the hero for Aurora that they so desperately need. 8 kills in 2 rounds. It's absolutely impeccable. And that might just give Aurora a little bit of momentum. It might give them a little bit of belief. Just needs to try and rally the forces. Everyone needs to start stepping up. It can't just be these hero moments. It can happen on a few occasions, but it will not be consistent. Just out with pistols now for fnatic, gonna just run through the side of the Molotov, trying to take as least damage as possible. Delusion with the M4 looking to get even more kills for his troubles, but nicoodoz will find one. But there is that man again, another free kill, make it not quite 4, but even so, the amount of impact he's having, he's single-handedly dragging Aurora back in, kicking and screaming.
nicoodoz has found 2. So now it's a 1 versus 2. The bomb isn't within reach, but he's picked up an M4 that he could swap to if he wishes to. Has had some luck with the Steagle so far, so I don't blame him holding on to that one. Pass this player boosted up, and Sugar is there for the kill. I hope Delusion was going to get that 4K just because it's quite the statement to make 3 back-to-back 4K rounds, but he'll take 3. Great round from Delusion, and Aurora starting to show signs of how they managed to get here to the RMRs. That individual talent starting to be showcased on the CT side, which on Overpass is statistically, we're highlighting it earlier, right? It's become the most CT-sided map, right, at the top level, which is kind of a crazy thought when you consider Ancient and Nuka in the mix.
Yeah, especially when you look at the mini-map and you see how big the map is, but it's just these narrow choke points when you come in towards the bomb sites. That's what makes it so CT-sided, especially with the smoke spams, the prevalence of this silenced weapon of the M4. It's an interesting shift to see. But right now, it still feels like an inevitability for fnatic to convert this one. 14-4. I'm not going to get my hopes up, despite Delusion being on 6 kills when the second half started, and now he's at 17.
Yeah, don't get delusional on me.
Try not to. Try to keep it just kind of all in balance. I'm just interested, just looking at the utility really for fnatic. The fact that there's only really 3 smokes remaining. Yes, there's a minute left on the clock, but at the same time, need to try and hold on to all of these tricks and trinkets to give you the best possible chance of getting into this bomb site.
Yeah, now they're starting to take the ground, throwing a deep smoke out to allow them to push up Banana. One blocked off the vision for any AWPs holding back from sight, and the fact that they've actually thrown that has caused the rotation to come through. There were 3 CTs over towards the B site, now there's 3 on A. Delusion with the AWP, his weapon of choice. We've seen him come up big with the USP and the M4. Can he do the same with the sniper? 20 seconds left. Have to start to commit now. The utility comes through. Delusion holding this line. There is a flank coming long, so he's on a bit of a timer here at this angle. He's looking for this fight that's just not coming. There it is. Gets that first kill, but Roy swings out and trades. Gets 2, in fact. Now Kyron on the side has too many targets to choose from. Does get Roy, but his teammates have all fallen. Now Sugar and Lackey, they have to come through on a rotate if they want to give this retake a go.
Is a quick flank, though, at the very least. So Lackey can start to press the issue towards Toilet. Sugar needs to get the first, and he does. nicoodoz is removed. 2 versus 2. It looks a lot more doable now for Aurora as they try and work their way back in. Both have kits, but mezii, oh, he's just moved off the angle, but he adjusts in the nick of time. 1 versus 1. Bomb has been ticked down quite low, and mezii with the adjustment on the headshot. Really good clutch coming in. It elevates fnatic to map point.
Sharp shot from mezii. Probably hit the letters J question mark and close square bracket on his keyboard to hit that one. For those that don't know, mezii plays with a very unusual keybind setup.
So
Moves with his mouse. So does FASHR, yeah. That's, what a strange team. I can't condone it, I'm not gonna lie. But it works. They get the kills. mezii looking to get some more. Aurora have to force every round from here, and she's looking for a play. mezii's just going to swing through, doubles up. This could be the final nail in the coffin. 2 fantastic kills, and he's looking for more. Make it a 3rd. Kyron does get that trade, but Roy is also fighting. Kyron's actually doubled up. So much damage done to both these remaining CTs. They know where they are as well. This one feels impossible for Aurora to bring back.
It really does. They're going to try and boost over towards the sandbag, put the rifle in an elevated position, try to catch out these players off guard. But the HP and the timer is just really dwindling. No kits either. Aurora needs to try and work for their way in. There are 2 smokes, but Crims, he spots Chiron over the top of the first, and suddenly Delusion, whilst he was a bright spark in a otherwise really dimly lit arena for Aurora, he cannot find the damages, and fnatic will convert. A very comfortable victory.
Yeah, what a dominant CT side showing as well. I mean, we talk about Aurora's great CT side there, where they managed to get that string of rounds, Delusion stepping up in spades, but really fnatic 14 rounds on the CT side. That is such a insane performance, and really there was just no chance for Aurora to come back from that. So really